What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, June 21st. I am out here. What a beautiful day. It is getting hot though. I'm out here. I'm going to show you the status of the food plot. So let's roll that intro and let's jump in it. Welcome back, everybody. It has been a few weeks since we planted our food plot. Obviously, look back there behind me. I'm going to spin the camera around here and I'm going to show you a little bit about this. Check this food plot out. This is the upper buckwheat plot. I have not added any amendments at all to this. This is 100% natural. This is the area, this is the plot actually that I have never worked before. The soil was dark brown. It has done incredibly well. You look over here and you can see right there in the middle, there's a hole. There's been deer or something in there that are just standing in there, just eating in a circle. They've eaten that down, but it started to come out and bloom all over again. But look at this. Look at how thick this is. I love using buckwheat because not only is it a forage source for the deer, but the pollinators, the blooms are important for the pollinators. The buckwheat, there are some studies that say that buckwheat can pull blight and other diseases out of the soil. It's also a fantastic green manure. What's going to happen is these are all going to go to seed eventually. After they go to seed, the plant is going to begin to die. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to come through here with my disc and I'm just going to chop it all down into the ground. And then it's going to turn into this fantastic green manure in there. It's going to be incredible. I may actually wait and give it time to do its thing and then actually turn it in later into the summer. And then that'll give me time to get a really good green manure top layer of kind of compost, if you want to call it that. So that way I can get a real good, thick fall and winter food plot going on in here. Look at this. I am standing on the edge of this thing. I've bush hogged right down the edge today. This buckwheat is over 3 feet tall, and in some places it's nearly up to my chin. So that puts it at, I'm going to say almost 5 feet at that point. This is some enormous buckwheat. I have never seen buckwheat do this, and the fact that it did this without me adding any fertilizer is absolutely incredible. You'll also see I've started mowing. I historically do not mow in May because of the turkey nest, and deer aren't really fawning around here generally in May. They usually start fawning around June, but the turkey nests are the big thing I'm trying to avoid by not mowing in May. This year we have seen an explosion in turkey poults, and I think it has to do with, one, me not mowing, and two, the controlled burn. The turkeys are using heavily down in the pines, and we are starting to see the reward of the property management, habitat management improvement plan that we've got going on. I am absolutely blown away by the number of poults that we're seeing this year. The other day, I saw 3 hens and 24 poults. I've got one hen here that has 2 really large poults. I've got another hen here. That has 6 little tiny poults. And then there's another hen, in addition to those, that's got 5 a little bit larger than that. So you're talking, those other 3 run together, and they cross between my side of the road and over on my dad, and they go back and forth, back and forth. So you're talking, that's 3 hens and 24, and then I've got 3 more hens and 6, 5, 2. I've got another 13. So that's 6 hens and 37 poults. I've never had that kind of poult rate around here. It's incredible. Take you over here. I'm going to show you the other food plot over here. It isn't nearly as big. It blows my mind. I mean, this was actually the looser, better soil. But so I thought. To my eyes, it looked like the better soil. But obviously, this up here must have been, I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't argue with the size of this buckwheat and the fertility and health of this soil. This food plot here is made up of a little bit of buckwheat, but it's got soybeans, sunflowers. It's got, I don't think I put sorghum in this one. It's got lab. I mean, it's got quite an assortment of different things here. And as you can see, it just isn't growing as tall. Let me spin around here again and show you. It just isn't growing as tall as that one. Look how thick that is. This is thick to some extent, but this also has a lot of weeds coming up in it. You look down there, you can see a lot of ragweed and stuff coming on down in there. There's a lot of grasses. There's probably going to be a lot of goldenrod because this hillside is a goldenrod. Just, it's loaded with goldenrod up here. Unfortunately, you see the Johnson grass coming up back over there. So I have a feeling this one's going to have that kind of stuff going on. This one, that's the other good thing. If you sow buckwheat really heavily and thick, it actually acts as a weed suppressor. So it can not only benefit your soil and benefit the wildlife and the pollinators, it can actually suppress weeds for the next year. You can actually have a cleaner food plot without having to use any kind of weed killer, which I try to avoid generally at all times. I'm not a big fan of weed killer. I realize there are some situations where you need to use it, but I try to avoid it as much as possible if I can. Look at that. Back over here once again, just isn't doing as good. I don't know. And it's possible that the deer are browsing. I haven't had a camera over any of this at all, but just a little bit ago, after I finished bush hogging, I came out here and I stuck me a stealth cam on that walnut tree right there so I can try to cover this end of the food plot, because there is the heaviest browse in these food plots is back over here on these two sides right here. All right, well, I am not going to go down in the pines and give you an update on that. It really is incredible what's going on down there. I'm not dressed to go in there, and it's amazing that I'm saying that, because used to I never thought twice about walking down into the pines in shorts, because it was almost a wasteland as far as the ground goes. The canopy, not so much the canopy, but the vines going up the trunks of the trees were intense, and they were just choking everything out. Now, the ground vegetation is like 2.5, 3 feet tall in there. And the last time I walked in there to go check my mineral site and check my camera, I was covered in ticks, which kind of surprised me, because I really thought that doing the burn in there would knock out a lot of the ticks. And really, I didn't have many ticks on me until just this last time I was in there. But it seems that the ticks have just exploded as a result. And it may not even be so much of in the burn. It's possible that I picked the ticks up on the edge of the field because I hadn't bush hogged when I walked down in there. So you never know. Anyway, so that's it for this update now. I'm going to drop some clips of these turkey poults and the hens that we're getting right now. It really is awesome. I love seeing the next generation of turkeys and deer and everything else. I mean, that's what we're doing all this for, is to try to improve the health and population of the wildlife here. So I'm going to drop some clips of that in here for those that want to see it. But thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment below. Let me know how your food plots are doing. I'm trying to come up with a strategy for what I'm going to do this fall and winter, where I'm going to put another food plot. I've actually got my other 2 food plot areas up on top that I've got to do some work on those to get them ready, and I may make the next video on that. But I'm heading out of town. I've got to get my stuff together. I got to get to the house. I'm heading out of town for work for a few days, and so maybe when I come back, I can give you an update on that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. God bless.